Okay, let's take a look at this prompt resources list here. That gets populated when you select some things on the screen. So I'm going to use the polygon tool this time. And let's say I want to restrict my query to, or I want to restrict my selection just to this here and exclude anything outside of it. Now when I hover over this, you can see that it's just including that. Now that's a context screenshot in the auto detect mode. I've got some text here. I can additionally drag around that and get this blue lagoon here. And you can add as many things as you want to the list before you query the LLM. Now let's go into manual selection mode, and I'm going to pick just an image here, just a part of this one. And you can see I've made a manual selection. Now let's say for whatever reason you're trying to compile a list of things to make a query about, but you just want to know about this one right now. So you can click over here and say, query the LLM about this, and it'll immediately just go make a query about that individual item. And it gives the answer there. So that's one way to use this three-dot menu here. Now, once you've made a query based on that item, you can also look at the conversation history. And here we can see that there's the conversation history about that query. Okay, so now let's say we want to just query based on all this here. I could ask a question above this one if I want to. I could say, how many paragliders do you see in the following image? Actually, I want that to go in front of that item. So you can drag items around in here. Now, if I query the LLM about this, see all the questions here. It just says there are 3 paragliders in the image. So it gave a very simple response in this case. Can you tell me more about paragliding? Asking a follow-up question. All right, so it came up with quite a bit about paragliding here. Now I wanted to show you something in the conversation history. When you have an item that you just queried about, and you have this resource here that was saved on disk as part of the conversation history, I can click on this item here or this item here, and it will bring up the Windows File Explorer and go to the location of the file. So let's view these as extra large icons. And you can see the 2 images over here on the left in the Windows Explorer, Windows File Explorer. So the application saves all the resources and then gives you access to them. So as you're clipping things on the screen, it's saving things. Now all of this data is saved locally. Nothing is saved on our servers. In fact, we don't even have servers. This is all local application. So none of this data, none of the queries, none of the history, nothing is saved on our servers. And we don't even have a running application on our servers. So there you go.